Good. A pleasure to be here with you. We are aware that this conversation is to be a gate opening. For you are the gatekeepers for others to their own, we would call it higher knowledge in Earth terms, but we will say cosmic knowledge. When you are aware of your cosmic origins, you are more connected to and tapped into the frequency of telepathy, the frequency of healing, and other realms, the realms beyond what you can see as a human whose senses have not yet opened to the realms of the soul. They are still fixated on the human game, as it were. So we are aware that you are here on the planet at this time, among other reasons, to be gatekeepers for this knowledge. Not that you are holding anything back, but instead your own curiosity, but also your own past lives, equip you to bring this information and bridge this information. Jonathan has had many lives where healing has been his way, and Mayim, you come from many lifetimes in scholarly roles. So for you, being a scholar, being a student, and also being a teacher has been a big part of your work on Earth. It is why you were gifted with the voice and communication in the way that you were. You had a brave heart around communication, like many on Earth who come here with a gift that costs you a lot at certain times in your earlier life until you learnt to stabilize more of your own sensitivity so that you could stand in the power of leadership that you have. Jonathan, for you, it has been almost the opposite process. You have been slowly coming into your outer expression over the years. Your inner expression was always very strong, very intact, and very sensory. But your outer expression has been something you have been developing. So you also wanted to bring through this information for others at a time and a period in history that is very challenging and difficult to discern what is true, what is not. And of course, the truth is always personal and perspective based, but you are also doing this conversation today and all of the conversations you do at a time in history where manipulation and lies are becoming both more exposed, but also more problematic on Earth. So this is an urgent time on Earth in terms of people coming to know their own truth, their own power, and the power of this collective to shift you all forward into a brighter timeline other than the one that you are being offered right now by those in control and in power. So we will not say too much more, for we are aware you have a lot of questions for us.
One of the questions I have is, it definitely feels like we're in a very precarious time in history. Truth, safety, privacy, the emergence of artificial intelligence. What is your view of this era that we're in, and where can we look to find hope?
You are in what we would call a storm period on Earth. You are having both the emergence of what we would call galactic technology appear on Earth. The emergence of this technology has been, shall we say, hidden from you, scrubbed from your history books, taken out of the records. So for many humans, this seems a surprisingly fast time. But for those who are aware of some of the technology that has existed for a long time, that has been suppressed or hidden, it is not as fast as you would think. And in fact, we will say the decade between 2030 and 2040 will be a lightning speed. In many ways, you are getting used to that now to 2030. But you are, we will call it, at a convergence point where many timelines can occur at once on Earth. And that is what makes this period of history new. Certainly for those of you who have only experienced Earth in the last 200 to 300 years. Yes, you have, none of you have lived that long in human bodies, but your lineage, your parents, the grandparents, those who came before you, which you do all tap into when you first are born onto the planet. You do take on certain codes and energies from your lineage. But for those of you who are living now, you are living in a time where multiple timelines are allowed to exist at once. And a timeline is both a possible future, but is also the life or the world that someone is living in. So, for example, right now there are some who are living on higher timelines on Earth. And what this means is they are experiencing more peace, more harmony. They are more in the future where more of that has been allowed to land and be created on Earth. Then there are others who are in what we would call a hellish timeline. Your word, not a word that we perhaps use in the same way as you would, but they are going deeply into the suffering as part of their experience on Earth, but also to illustrate the suffering that certain facets of humanity, and we would say non-humanity, like to instill upon other humans. And there is a story you've all been sold about how war is normal, and it is not. It is the small few at the top who benefit from war, and they drag everyone else with them. War is always about control, manipulation, and power, and humans have been fed a story that going to war will keep them safe, and in fact it is the opposite. So you are at a time in history where multiple timelines are happening all at once, and what this also brings back is the fall of prior civilizations. It is why some of you are having doom dreams right now, seeing tidal waves engulf the earth or parts of the country. We understand what these dreams are signaling to many of you, and what we have said is there are going to be, of course, certain disasters on earth during this period of time. We have always talked about this, and we are not the only ones giving you this information. However, psychically, what many of you are tapping into is metaphor. You are tapping into the metaphor of the washing away of an old world that you once knew. And this is very challenging for you, because even if you are intuitive and soul-based, your human body doesn't necessarily understand that the future is coming. So it sees what's going on in the present, and it only can react to the lack of safety, the fear that might run through your body, and also the memory in your soul of what it was like the last time a civilization went down and you were here. So what you are actually cycling through, and this may be a surprising or controversial take for some of you, you are cycling through a lot of darkness very fast so that it doesn't need to play out. Now, we understand that when you look around your planet right now, you see a lot of areas of darkness, and you see a lot of archaic cultural imprints that are destroying other humans, parts of the land, in the name of whether they call it religion or political safety. None of this is coming from oneness. None of this is coming from where you originate from. And there are some humans who embody a heart of darkness or a wound, and they help push that agenda. But there are also non-humans for whom this agenda serves, because you are galactic as a world, not just human and not just Earth. And that is the other thing that is about to be exposed on Earth in these years you are experiencing right now. And of course, it has already been exposed. Many of you ask about when will disclosure happen. It has been happening for a very long time. It is just becoming more mainstream now.
Mayim Bialik's Breakdown is supported by Element.
Element helps anyone stay hydrated without the sugar, food dye, and other dodgy ingredients found in popular electrolyte and sports drinks. Electrolyte deficiency or imbalance can cause headaches, cramps, fatigue, brain fog, weakness. Element is a zero-sugar electrolyte drink mix and sparkling electrolyte drink born from the growing body of research revealing that optimal health outcomes occur at sodium levels 2 to 3 times government recommendations. Each stick pack delivers a meaningful dose of electrolytes and is formulated for anyone on a mission to restore health through hydration. Element is perfectly suited for athletes, folks who are fasting, those following keto, low-carb, whole food, or paleo diets. When I'm sweating more, I feel the electrolyte loss in my body. It feels like fatigue and muscle cramps, headaches. You've heard us sing Element's praises for years as the quick and easy way to alleviate these symptoms by adding electrolytes to our systems. And as the weather turns hotter, I have to give a shout out to watermelon salt, which is perfect as it gets hotter out. Hydration is foundational for energy, clarity, mood. It shouldn't feel like a chore to check off or a privilege to earn. That's where 12-ounce sparkling comes in with 4 refreshing flavors: pineapple salt, lemonade salt, black cherry salt, which I really love, and orange salt. We always reach for one before we get on marathon interviews here at the MBB studio. Salty, bright, and crisp, these tasty slim cans deliver 500 milligrams sodium, 100 milligrams potassium, and 30 milligrams magnesium. Members of our community can get their free Element sample pack with any purchase when they order through our custom URL at drinkelement.com/Mayim. Try Element, see how you feel. Element has a world-class customer service team. If for any reason you're not satisfied, they will take care of you.
Again, that's drinkelement.com/MAYIM.
Drinkelement.com/Mayim. Mayim Bialik's Breakdown is supported by Shopify. Starting something new isn't just hard, it can be downright terrifying. So much time, so much effort goes into this thing in the pre-planning phase. You're not even entirely sure it will work out. It's hard to make that leap of faith. Trust us, we know. When we started this podcast, I wasn't really sure what Jonathan was even doing. What if no one wants to be on here? What if no one listens? What if I make a fool of myself? Well, now I know that Jonathan was right in believing in ourselves, despite all of my fears and hesitations. It also helps when you have a partner like Shopify on your side to help, like we do. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S. From household names to first-time business owners just getting started to a little podcast like Mayim Bialik's Breakdown. Shopify has been our one-stop shop for all of our merch store needs for several years now. Get started with your own design studio with hundreds of ready-to-use templates. Shopify helps you build a beautiful online store that matches your brand's style. Accelerate your efficiency, whether you're uploading new products or trying to improve existing ones. Shopify is packed with helpful AI tools that write product descriptions, page headlines, and even enhance your product photography. It's time to turn those what-ifs into... with Shopify today. Sign up for your $1 per month trial today at shopify.com/breakdown. Go to shopify.com/breakdown. That's shopify.com/breakdown.
There's so much in what you've shared. Are there demonic forces playing out that are driving some of the conflict?
We would not call them demonic, but you have been asked to label them as demonic. And one of the things that you are often encouraged to do with demonic forces is not to figure out how to defeat the demonic forces, but instead to be in fear of them. In fact, even this that is happening right now, there will be those who will accuse Lee of channeling demonic forces. And that is part of the script that you were all fed in order to get you away from exploring your wider reality. And that is fine, but the demonic forces do not see themselves as demonic, but they are here for resources. So they do not have compassion or care for humanity or any species on Earth. They are here for the resource of Earth. There is a, we will call it, fight between many different groups for control of Earth. It is not one. So any of you who are out there thinking there is one group that you all need to be afraid of, no, there are multiple vying for control. And the positive of this is, in many ways,